For the next 7 days, I'm going to be challenging myself to make as much money as possible with appointment setting. Now, I was an appointment setter for over 2.5 years, and I got from 0 to 15K a month with that skill. So I know that it's a crucial part for any sales process. Setting is the skill that has allowed me to live my dream life. Now, I don't own a Lambo or a Rolex, but I only work a few hours a day from my phone, and I get to travel the world with my best friends for most months of the year. So by all means, if your goal is to go from broke to millionaire in the next 3 months, then click off this video. But if your goal is just to make 5 to 10K a month remotely from your phone and have the ability to travel the world and have more freedom, then in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly what is realistic with this simple skill. Now, I haven't done appointment setting myself in over 6 months now, but it's time to see if I still have the level, if I still have got what it takes. And what I want with this is to prove that it wasn't luck that got me from 0 to 15 to now 30K a month, but it was learning various high income skills, including appointment setting. I'm gonna be starting from 0 this week, and I'm gonna be trying to hit $1,000 in commission in these 7 days with appointment setting. But for those of you who don't necessarily know what it is yet, let me quickly break it down for you in a way that a 5-year-old could understand. So if you're watching this type of content, you probably know people like TJR, Brett Scales, Shelby Sapp, but what you might not know is that all of these people sell high ticket coaching programs. So what this means is people are willing to pay them for their guidance, their information, their direction, but the programs they sell are high ticket, meaning you can't just go on a page, click on a button and buy it like if you were to buy something on Amazon, but you need to hop on a call with what we call a closer, which is essentially just a salesperson who will close the deal. Usually these deals can range from $5,000 to $10,000 one-time fee. The appointment setter's role is to basically book those calls on the calendar of the closer / salesperson. You speak to the people, you qualify the people, and you book them in for a slot that makes sense. And when the deal closes, you basically take a commission of the deal. Now, I'm going to become an appointment setter for the next 7 days. I'm going to take you with me through the entire process of how you can land a role, start setting appointments, and get your first commissions with this simple skill, and also show you what's truly realistic with a skill like appointment setting. Your job essentially is just going to be to log into the business owner or creator's Instagram account. You're going to be speaking to these people, booking them in for a call. And again, when the deal closes, you can make 5 to 10% of whatever the total deal size is. But let me break it down for you and the earning potential that comes with a skill like this. Let's say it takes 30 minutes to book one call. So if you work 4 hours in a day, you could theoretically book 8. But I'm going to be conservative because you're a beginner. I'm going to pretend I'm a beginner as well. So let's say you only book 4 calls. So let's say out of the 4 calls that you booked, 3 of them show. That's a 75% show rate. It's accurate, it's industry standard. And out of those 3 calls, only 1 of them closes because the closer, let's say, closes at a 30% close rate. The average size of these deals is 7.5K USD. So if you've made 5% of that, you've already made $375 for one closed deal. And when you look at it, that's only booking a few calls. And that's when the closer only closes at a 30% close rate, which is fairly low if you're on the right offer, working for the right company. And so essentially, if you were to do this even for 15 days out of the month, so half of the month, you'd already be making over 5,600 USD just from booking calls. Step 1 is going to be to find a reputable company to work with. Now, there are millions of coaches out there right now, whether it's fitness, wealth, relationships, you name it. There are tons of coaches out there selling very expensive coaching programs that you could be working for. But I'm going to give you something that most people would never give you, which is the criteria that you need to distinguish between a good company, a good offer, and a bad one that you don't want to work for. So this is what I'm going to judge the company on. First thing is, are they already making money? If a company is not making at least $30,000 a month, I wouldn't work with them as a setter, because just realistically, mathematically, you're not going to be able to make enough money. Even if there's growth potential, they need to already be established. The second criteria is that the company is already established, meaning they have good results, they have good testimonials, they have a good team of people in place. You know that this company is already making money and already getting results for the people they work with. So it's it's going to be way easier to actually set high quality calls because you have all that material, and people will be more pre-sold into buying whatever they have to sell because they have a good reputation. The third criteria is that there is growth potential within that company to become a setter manager, a closer, and also to understand if there's already people within the company making the type of money that you want to make. Ask, how much is your best setter making? How much is your worst setter making? Do you have any setters? Are they making good money? And try and understand if that income aligns with what you want to make as an appointment setter. Super important. So what I'm going to do right now is explain to you how you can find clients. And the most important thing you need to understand is that what used to work 2 to 3 years ago does not work anymore. 2 to 3 years ago, you could send a Loom video to a coach on Instagram, go on Facebook, look for some roles, and you might get hired if you sent out a bunch of those during 1, 2, 3 weeks. The truth is the industry has changed massively. Appointment setting is an insider's industry. You need to know someone within the industry if you want to land good roles. Out of the 10 plus roles I worked on during my 2.5 years as an appointment setter, all of them were landed through someone I knew, through my network. It was never through applying for something online or asking someone for favors. It was always networking, building real connections, and getting hired through those connections that I have built. So what you're gonna have to do is, whether it's through social media or through your current network of friends or people you know, is find one person in the space. That could be me if you're watching this video, or whoever it is. You're gonna connect with them and try and get connected with other people within the space. And if you do the math, it's gonna be quick, because let's say you find one person in the space, you ask them to connect you to 1 or 2 people, and you repeat that process with every single person that you get connected with. Soon you'll have a web of 10, 20, 30 people within the space that you're connected with. When a real opportunity comes along, you'll be the first one they'll be thinking of, because they already like you as a human, and you're not just someone coming to them with a CV or a resume. So that's going to be very, very powerful. And the first way that you can do this is either go on Instagram and look for people who have appointment setter in their bio. You can obviously DM me on my Instagram if you want to connect as well. I'm always open to giving out advice. And then you're going to create that web, that network of people within the space, because you need to be an insider if you want to land roles. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on my phone and show you exactly what a setter conversation looks like. And now I'm going to go about setting my first few appointments on this account. So we can see here that they started following the account. So you just send yo, or depending on the offer you're on, you might have this message already automated. Hey man, it's good to hear from you. Then I'm trying to understand like what he's looking at. Is he already a setter, or is he just looking into it? You know, he's looking into it. He watched some of the YouTube videos, which is really, really good. You know, when they talk about watching the YouTube videos from the offer owner, you already know that they're a very qualified lead, because YouTube videos are very good to nurture leads. And so then understand what's their take on the thing so far, understand what their goals are, how much would they like to be earning through setting in order to achieve their goals. Then understand what are their challenges and why maybe a 9 to 5 wouldn't work to actually achieve the goals that they want to achieve. And then once we keep going down here, we can see that they gave us a lot of sauce, which means we're asking the right questions. And then we send a little voice note to qualify them financially, because truth is, if the program is 5 or 10K, but they don't have any money, it's never gonna work. So what we do here is we send them a quick voice note, understand how much money they have saved up, if they're willing to go all in. We can see here that he said he has 10K in savings, so that's good to go. Definitely enough to invest into a program. Chat a little bit more, trying to understand for how long they've been trying to work remotely and have freedom. Then send a voice note explaining a little bit of how we help people with the program, and then send another voice note trying to understand if they're the type of person willing to invest in themselves. And then the last voice note is just proposing a call. Then we book the call in, we send a YouTube video to nurture the lead, because we want to make sure they're actually nurtured, and then we go from there. So essentially all you're doing is booking this call. I'm going to repeat this process a little bit more. So if I go, here's another conversation. Obviously the guy followed, wondering if they're a setter, just looking into it, follow the same process. This guy in this case had already invested into another mentorship, but obviously didn't get the results that he wanted to get. So we explain how we're different from the competition, what we can do differently. We don't go too in depth. That's the most important thing with setting, you know. Then we keep understanding their goals, trying to understand what happens. So here we have a bit of a different conversation where they actually reached out. They said, I looked at your content. I'm very interested in appointment setting. They gave us a lot of information, which is really, really good because it makes us understand if the lead is genuinely qualified and a good fit for what we have to do. And we just follow the same process again, trying to understand if they know what setting is. They still send long messages, give us a lot of information, understand their goals, and then obviously try and understand in depth what their goals are. You know, he said financial freedom is what he wanted. So we asked, what does financial freedom mean to you, bro? And then obviously understand how much they want to be earning through setting in order to live their dream life. And this works with whatever you're selling, right? Whether it's setting, drop shipping, trading, whatever program you're selling, and trying to understand their current challenges. Why isn't the current job helping sustain and travel the world without having to worry? Obviously, they give us a lot of information. We send a voice note to understand if they have money saved up. Follow the same process and understand if they're willing to invest in themselves. Same process here. They're giving us a lot of information, which means we're asking the right questions. As a setter, you'll notice if you're asking the right questions, people will get you a lot of information. They will yap about their personal life. And that's really, really good because it gives you good information to give then to the closer that makes it easier to close the deal. And same, we booked the call is booked. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna repeat this process for a few more hours and I'll basically book as many calls as I can. But I need to go because I have a dinner with my friends right now. So I'll see you on day 3 to keep this going and see if we can get a few commissions going from the calls that we've booked on day 1. Yo, so day 3 of the experiment, I am back. Day 2, I did not film, but I spent around 3 to 4 hours setting appointments. I was just having a look today because this morning I went to the gym, and then while I was at lunch with my friends, I set appointments for around an hour, which is really cool. Again, that's kind of the freedom that comes when you're an appointment setter. So I was just booking appointments on my phone, and this afternoon I spent another like 3 hours sat here setting directly from my laptop as well. And I had my first commission check from a call that we booked on day 1. One of the conversations that I showed you ended up closing. Because on that day, day 1, I ended up booking 5 calls. 3 of those showed and 1 closed for $5,000, which leaves me with $250 of commission. And I also booked another 7 calls between day 2 and the beginning of today as well. So that's a good start. $250 on day 3. The goal is still $1,000 by the end of the 7 days. That's really the goal that I want to try and hit. So I can show you that it is realistic as an appointment setter, even if you're a beginner, even if you're just starting out. So yeah, I'll see you on day 4 or 5. Let's see when I film again. I'm just gonna set appointments for like 1 or 2 hours more today, and then yeah. Yes, boys, welcome to day 5 of experimenting being an appointment setter for 7 days. I didn't film yesterday, but I did work like 2 to 3 hours and booked a good number of calls. I just came back from the gym. I am dead, so I'm just gonna do a quick dip in the pool because it's super hot. Then I'm gonna sit there and explain to you guys exactly what's been going on, how many calls, and how much commission we've done. Yes, boys, welcome to day 5. I'm chilling now, so I'm gonna walk you through exactly what's happened in the last 2 days. So since I spoke with you on day 3, I booked around 10 calls and 7 showed up. That's like pretty solid, 70% show rate. That's cool. And 3 closed, but they were not paid in full. So just to give you an idea, one deal gave me $250 in commission because that was a 5K pay in full. And then one deal gave me $150 in commission. That brings the total to around $650 for the week. And another deal added $100 in commission, bringing the total to $700 at the end of day 5. Well, it's like 6 p.m. I might work a little bit more tonight, but I already worked like 3 hours and I don't want to overdo it. And so I'm now $250 away from day 7's goal, which was $1,000 in commission, and I have 2 days left. So that's still pretty solid. So that's it for day 5, really. It's just a really chill lifestyle when you're a setter. I forgot how cool it was now that I'm testing it out for a week, doing it myself again after like a few months, and we are not far away from the goal. So let's see. I'm probably going to film only on day 7 now, and I'll walk you through the exact full results that we had for the end of the week. Let's try and hit the goal, and I'll see you on day 7. Yes, boys, welcome to day 7, final day of the experiment. These last 2 days, I'm not going to lie, have been a bit tough. I ended up only booking 5 calls, 3 of them showed up, so the show rate is still okay, could be better. You want to aim for that 100% show rate, but we can't be perfect, right? One of them ended up closing for 2,500 USD, which gives me another $125 in commission and means we ended the week at $875 in total. So that's a realistic amount that you can expect to make as an appointment setter, especially at the beginning. Then obviously, as you go on and on, you can review your conversations, optimize everything, and get to a point where you're making way more money. But also keep in mind that during this week, I was only working maybe 3 to 4 hours a day tops, and I still was able to make almost $900 in 1 week as an appointment setter. And yeah, so that is it. That is the experiment. This is a very realistic amount. I didn't want to, bullshit you guys and show you an amount that wasn't doable or lie to you about deals that didn't close. Truth is, not that many deals ended up closing, only made $875, which is not crazy money, but it's still way better than most jobs would pay out there with a 9-to-5 or an apprenticeship, especially if you're, in a European country like I'm from, Portugal, or something of that nature. And yeah, if you like this video, obviously subscribe to the channel, give it a like. And if you do want to learn appointment setting, get placed on a role way quicker than most beginners do, then you can check the link in the description, book a call with me and my team. We'll see on a call if we might be able to help you, if we might be able to turn you into a killer appointment setter so that you can start making money. We have a few people that we've helped, like Alex, who went from 0 to this month. He's at around 8,500 USD in commission, which is really sick. And we also have Sam up here, who literally he was making around 700 pounds a month at his old bartending job, which he was doing part-time if I'm not mistaken, and now he's making over 6K a month with appointment setting, so that's pretty sick. We also had Joe and Omar, who literally both made 3K in their first months as setters on a really, really sick e-commerce coaching offer. So those are some of the results that we can produce when people are committed, when people are actually willing to invest their time, their energy into growing a real skill set. So if that's something you might be interested in happening for yourself as well, then you can check the link in the description. And with that, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.